What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. It is the 28th day of November, and here we are on this happy Friday, sitting at about $0.003 with 6 hours and 7 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it, my friends. I'm looking at this here, and sometimes I like to just look at like a specific area, right, like this, and just see, have we seen anything like this before, right? And I went through the whole history. We don't really see too many instances of this. I can't really find too many, but there is one that kind of stands out that's similar, and it seems like right here. It seems to be pretty similar. You see the shape. It's even at the same low, and the high is almost at the same high. Slightly lower low, slightly lower high. If we take this here from a low to a high, that's a 76% pump. We put this over here at this low, we're just shy of that. Instead of a 76% pump, you had a 68% pump, which they're not the exact same, but just the reaction thus far is kind of similar, and the price areas are kind of similar as well. What did we do here? Right? It's fun to look at it like this and then compare it to something else, because whenever you do that, sometimes you just find a little nugget of truth where from the low to the high, you went and found support directly at the golden ratio, and then you had a voluptuous move to the upside. Might we do the same thing here? From a low to a high, is this little nugget of truth telling us that we're going to go down to the golden ratio, down at about 0.00265? Maybe. Maybe we do. And that's something that we should be open-minded to, is that we do go down to 0.00265, 0.00252, somewhere in that area. We could find support right there. It's quite possible as well that we find support here at the 382, that we find support here at the 0.5. Just because it looks similar to what we did back here doesn't mean that it has to be the exact same. But just an idea there, right? Just an idea. And again, it's very eerie or ironic. What's the word I'm looking for? Interesting, coincidental that it happens to be at the same price areas as well, and we're doing a very similar reaction here. Very low of this move, very low of that move. It's just interesting to see. Anyways, looking at the 1 hour time frame, let's zoom in here. I don't know if I said it, but hit that like button, you guys. Here we are. A little bit of a relative double bottom. Your RSI looks sad. You know it's sad because you're finding resistance consistently at the 50, the 60. You're not getting overbought. You're not getting oversold, which is kind of nice, but you are predominantly living below the 50, right? Most of your life recently has been below the 50. You went from a very bullish RSI living above the 50 here and getting overbought to now a very bearish RSI. In all fairness, though, in comparison, this bearishness is not as bearish as this bullishness is bullish, right? Like this is a more bullish phase here. When you are bearish, you're having a hard time. That's all I'm trying to say. You're reluctantly bearish. You probably have lower to go, though. Stochastics are ugly. I don't know what to make of that when you're moving sideways and it's the 1 hour. They're probably not that helpful. The MACD, same thing. I'm not going to really gauge that. Maybe there's some bullish divergence. Maybe move up a little bit, but I'm not holding my breath over that. 4 hour time frame looks good here. Again, something to consider is that from a low to a high, we have just gone just above the 382 here. And while it happens, it's somewhat, I wouldn't even say common, but it happens. I've seen it happen plenty of times where you do find support just above the 382. It doesn't happen often, though, I'll tell you that much. It's the most common to at least interact with the 382, find support on it or just below it, and then start to recover. So while it is nice that we're moving up here on this 4 hour candle, until we start closing days above the 236, I'm not impressed. So we could move up to 0.0032 from here by the time you watch this video. Maybe we are. Maybe we've even gone above there. We can wick above there, but if we close below, that still means we're going lower, right? If we're finding resistance at the 236, which again, resistance can look just like this, just like that, where you wicked above, but you still closed right at it, right? You didn't get above it on a closing price. Support can look like this. You closed barely below, but that was support, right? It doesn't have to be a direct, rigid line, especially with something like this that has a lower market cap. I'm not considering that we're ready to move higher until we've at least interacted with 0.00297, or most probable, maybe even the golden ratio, something like that. What are we doing with volume? Picking up volume as you're moving down. A little bit of volume coming in here as you're moving up, but not too much. It's about to be the weekend. I would bet that we do kind of consolidate, move sideways, and then we probably move lower going into next week. That's probably what's going to happen. So we probably do move up to that 0032, 0033 area and then move lower. That'd be my thoughts. 4-hour time frame, looking at this, the 4-hour RSI is at a perfect area to bounce at the 40. When I say bounce, that doesn't mean we're going through the roof. That just means, you know, maybe we bounce here, we find resistance there, we bounce here, we find resistance there, lower high, whatever. Fairly common to bounce between the 60 level and the 40 level, which might be exactly what you're doing. You've done that plenty of times before. Here, 60, found resistance, 40, found support. A little bit below the 40 to be fair, but largely you held the 40 as support. Again, it's just a rough thought. It's not an exact, precise thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. But the RSI here, I would think we do pump a little bit. We move. It's good for a move up, but I don't think it's good enough for a move higher. And I would think that we do move lower until we get into the oversold zone. Stochastics are bearish, but might be hinting at a little move up as well. If we move up, we reject the 50, that's how you know that we're probably done with whatever move we get and we're going to go lower. The MACD is also at the 0, which is also a good place to move up from, to be fair. So a lot of these indicators on the 4-hour time frame are suggesting that we're going to bounce here, which is kind of nice to see. I hope I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, how you prove me wrong is you get any day, doesn't have to be today, it can be any day, get 2 days in a row, because we can be tricky sometimes, to close above $0.0032, 0.0032. If you can do that, then I'm wrong. But getting above there, don't be watching this video and we're up at 0.0326 and you're like, haha, you were wrong. No. There's still 6 hours left in this day, right? I'm only wrong if we close above there, and really we'd have to see 2 days close above there because we are in kind of tricky territory. I don't really trust it. Daily time frame, looking at this here. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm proven wrong. Higher highs here, lower highs there. That's hidden bearish divergence. Not the best look, but not the worst look. Hidden bearish divergence doesn't mean that you have to go down. Regular divergence, regular bearish divergence is worse than hidden divergence, but still suggests we go lower, and that's probably why we are moving lower. Stochastics rejecting the overbought zone. MACD. The MACD's bearish overall. Yes, you're building bullish momentum, but you're bearish overall. So wouldn't surprise me. A little bit lower, higher low, and then we move up higher. That's the expectation. Probably sometime either over the weekend, which is either the next 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, so over the next 48 hours, or sometime by the end of next week, which will be the first week of December. We should have results coming in the form of a low at 296, or 0.00261 to 0.00251, somewhere in that range. I don't really have anything else that I want to say, so hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. We're still fully expecting that Zebec will retaliate to the upside, that you will see some voluptuous upside. The expectation there is that we'll see a 3 cent to a 4.5 cent price, maybe a little bit more, if anything. I doubt we stop at anything less. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. See you later.